When you're learning a new language with a new writing system, one good way to wrap your head around how that writing system works is to learn how to write your name in it. Hi, my name is Kelsey. I'm a PhD student studying Assyriology, and today I'll talk you through how to write your name in Cuneiform. For the rest of this video, for the sake of simplicity, I'll just be saying the word cuneiform to talk about this writing system, but know that in this video I'm specifically talking about the Sumero-Akkadian cuneiform writing system, which is used for the Sumerian, Akkadian, and Hittite languages. I'm framing this as a video on how to write your name in Sumero-Akkadian cuneiform, but you can use this video to transliterate any language into this cuneiform writing system. The first thing we need to do is break your name into syllables, as cuneiform is syllabic, not alphabetic. Each sign represents a syllable. It does not represent a single letter or phoneme. It's a whole syllable. There are 4 types of syllables represented by signs: vowels, vowel-consonant signs, consonant-vowel signs, and finally consonant-vowel-consonant signs. Just for clarity, a vowel is a sound that you produce by vibrating different parts of your throat, and none of your other mouth parts are touching. There are 4 vowels in the cuneiform writing system: a, e, and u. And then a consonant is something that is produced when you touch different parts of your mouth together, so like b, k. In cuneiform, the first syllable of a word can start with a vowel, but every other syllable should start with a consonant. This can be either an open syllable, a consonant followed by a vowel, or a closed syllable, a consonant, vowel, and then another consonant. Closed syllables can be spelled 2 ways in the cuneiform writing system, either with one sign, a consonant-vowel-consonant sign, or with a consonant-vowel sign followed by a vowel-consonant sign. You add them together, and that does not affect the quality or length of the vowel in between. So I can write my name in 2 different ways. I can write it with 2 signs, Kelsey, or the way I choose to write it, with 3 signs, KLC, and these are pronounced the exact same way. They're just written different. There are no silent letters in the cuneiform writing system, which totally unlike English, which is difficult to read sometimes because the letters don't make the sounds you might expect. But Semitic languages are totally phonetic, so if a letter does not make a sound in your name, do not include it in the cuneiform spelling. Doubled consonants are not always written in the cuneiform writing system, so if you want to represent that consonant specifically as doubled, you'll have to have 2 different signs for that, but you don't have to write that consonant as doubled if it doesn't affect the sound. If there are doubled consonants at the end of your name, you should probably not write them, because if you have them touching at the last 2 letters, you'll have to add an extra vowel to make that work in the syllabic writing system, so just go with the sound that your name is making in that case rather than the spelling. If your name has 2 consonants touching in the first or last 2 letters of your name, this doesn't work in a syllabic writing system, so you're going to have to insert a vowel to make it work. When you're choosing how to spell your name in cuneiform, think about the sounds that the letters in your name are making, not exactly how it's spelled. So when it comes to vowels, your name might be spelled with an O. You need to think about whether that is making more of an A sound or an U sound, because there are only the 4 vowels in the cuneiform writing system: A, E, and U. So for example, Bob is spelled with an O in English, but I would spell it with an A vowel in cuneiform. Spell it Ba-ab or Bob. Some phonemes don't exist in the cuneiform writing system, so you'll need to replace them with a sound that does exist in the cuneiform writing system. If you have a C, an F, a J, a V, or a Z, we need to switch those out. Think about the sound that the consonant is making again, not how it's spelled. So if there's a C, does it make more of a K sound or an S sound? If there's a J, does it make a ya sound or more of a g sound? If you want the ya syllable in your name, this is sometimes listed in sign lists as the IA, the ya sign. You can use that if you want the ya syllable. If you have an F in your name, it could become a P because they're the same point of articulation in your mouth. F, P, FP. It's just your lips touching versus not. And some writing systems like Hebrew and Arabic use the same grapheme for that sound, but just different diacritics. Similarly, if you have a V in your name, that could become a B. If your name is something like Jeff, I'm very sorry, that does not work well with the cuneiform writing system. You could maybe be Gep or Yep. It doesn't work super well, but it's your name, so you can choose how you want to translate that into the cuneiform writing system. If you have an X in your name, that could maybe be a K and an S together. Some sounds in English are written with 2 letters, but are only one sound. So for example, S and H together makes a sh sound. In the transliteration system for cuneiform, this is represented with just 1 letter, which is an S with a hot check over it, a little hat. And this actually comes from the Czech language, but if you see an S with the little hat above it, that is an esh, an sh, a sh sound. There's another special letter in the cuneiform transliteration system, which is an S with a dot underneath it, and this makes a z sound, like a Hebrew zadeh, or maybe the Arabic sod, like a emphatic S sound. So if you have a name that comes from either Hebrew or Arabic and it has either a zadeh or a sod in it, you might want to use a zadeh in cuneiform. There's no ch sound, ch sound in the cuneiform writing system, so you'd probably want to replace that with a shin, a sh. If you have a slide or a diphthong between 2 vowels in your name, you can do this no problem in the cuneiform writing system. You can just put 2 different vowels next to each other. This doesn't actually happen a lot with Akkadian or Sumerian words, but we're fudging this a little bit because we're transliterating from a different writing system, so it's not going to work perfectly. If you have a QU in your name that makes a qua sound, you're going to have to add another syllable because the QU sign in cuneiform just makes a ku sound. So if you want to write the qua sound, you can write ke, wa, with a ke sign and then a wa or we sign, depending on what sound your name makes. There's no wrong answers here. This is your name, so play around with it, see what you like, see what works. And now that we have the syllables worked out, we need to look up the corresponding cuneiform signs for those syllables. I'll show you 3 different ways to do this, some easier than others. One thing you can do is either buy or download for free the kids book that the Institute for the Study of Ancient Cultures made. This is a kids book, but I find that the sign list that they included in here very helpful, even when I'm doing this exercise with undergraduate students. If you go to page 7, here's the chart, and I'll include a link in the description. It's nice and consolidated. It only has the consonant vowel and vowel consonant signs. You don't have to deal with the consonant vowel consonant signs if you don't need to. It also has the Old Babylonian sign forms, which is nice. So if you don't want to get into the weeds of a big long sign list, I highly recommend you look at this little consolidated chart. If you want to get a little bit more complicated and look at all of the possible ways you could write each of the syllables, you could use Labat's Manual of Akkadian Epigraphy, which is also available online, and I'll link in the description. You can go to the glossary, and there in the glossary you can look up the syllables and see the later first millennium forms of each sign, or you can see the number that is assigned to each sign and go to the corresponding full entry for that sign and see the entire development of that sign over time and see which sign form you like the best. You can also see what signs might represent logographically when the sign represents an entire word, not just a syllable. If you're in a time crunch, the fastest possible way to look up the signs in your name is to use this online tool that was put together by a programmer, adapted from the Cuneify tool that was made by the open, richly annotated cuneiform corpus website. The actual original website has been broken for a while, but luckily, this guy, Andrew Sr., has made a copy of it that works really great. So you can just type in the syllables that you want to see, and then, if you want, change the font, which is embedded into the website, and you can see the different sign forms. Then you can copy and paste the output. Just know if you copy your name from this website and then paste it into any text box, it's going to default to the Unicode cuneiform signs, which are the classical Sumerian or Old Babylonian forms. If you want to have different sign forms, you'll have to download the different fonts, which are available on the website, and actually use a word processor. The different fonts are not Unicode, so they won't show up in just a text box. You have to have the different fonts installed to see the different sign forms, but you can copy and paste the Old Babylonian sign forms everywhere and text your friends, whatever you want. On your phone, you could also download the Cuneiform Edit app. I know it's available on iOS. That's what I use. I assume it's also available on Android, but that is a way to add a cuneiform keyboard to your phone and then type with the Unicode block of cuneiform signs. If you want to get really fancy and personalize your cuneiform name, you can be playful with logograms as well. Each sign can represent a syllable, but it can also represent an entire word. So if your name is a word in English or another language, you could use the Akkadian or Sumerian translation of that word as your name. You can play around with it. It's your name. Have fun. If you want to get into this and look at different possibilities for your cuneiform name, you could look at the online dictionary of the Electronic Babylonian Library. Have fun with this, and I would love to see what you come up with, so you could copy and paste your cuneiform name in the comments. That'd be great. I'd love to see it.